Mankz and Fahad, you guys are basically growth operators. You're helping Eddie Abbew with his community, and you guys are making around $60,000 per month right now with that community as growth operators. I'm personally super stoked to learn how you guys do that. And I know that my community want to learn that as well. But before we dive into that, I want to learn more about your guys' like entrepreneurial story and what was it that actually got you guys started on this journey?
If we're going all the way back to when we started becoming entrepreneurs, I've always been fairly entrepreneurial, even in school, selling stuff, reselling on eBay as a side hustle, not really seeing it on social media or anything. It's just, I thought, okay, cool. I can buy stuff for a discount, sell it, resell it. Then I moved on to maybe doing my own e-com brand on an Amazon FBA private label. Then we create our agency, whether that's TikTok organic content for local businesses, transition into like TikTok ads agency, and then eventually turning it into what it is today, which is growth operating. That's on my half.
My half, personally, I'd say, yeah, so similar story, just been interested in entrepreneurship from a young age. I'd say more interested in self-development, you could say. And then naturally, and when you're interested in self-development, entrepreneurship is one of the things that come with it, right? So because like you want to be a businessman, you want to work for yourself, etc. You don't really want to work for anyone else. But yeah, tried like a bunch of things, and then finally the one that worked out well for us, we could say, is growth operating.
Awesome. And for everybody like watching, like how old are you guys?
I'm 21.
I'm 22, but yeah, we're in the same school, yeah. So we've known each other since year 7, which is when you're like 11, 12 years old.
Yeah. And that's like the classic question, right? If you guys are brothers.
Oh, yeah.
But you guys are not, right? Yeah.
Get that all the time, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm asking how old you guys are because like you've done a lot, right? Like reseller, Amazon FBA, e-com, like service business, like running an agency with TikTok ads. Like that's a lot of stuff. Do you feel like you guys have been testing pretty much all under the sun when it comes to like doing money online?
These are all the different side hustles that you hear, oh, this is the best way to make money online and blah, blah, blah. You try it out. A lot of them weren't, I guess, good vehicles at the right time, or maybe we just weren't good enough entrepreneurs at the time to make it successful. Or we did suffer from shiny object syndrome, where you see one side hustle gets difficult, you see a better opportunity, you jump from business model to business model. But with this one, at least we were early to the market, because it's not like anyone was talking about it. The term growth operator came about after we actually were doing this. It's more like I saw the gap in the market where there was a creator who was getting some attention and like, yo, you can monetize it by sending an ebook or whatnot. And then that proved concept, and eventually we landed on Eddie Abbew. But until then, yeah, it was just trying different business models. And finally, we landed one that's a good vehicle.
Interesting. And like, was Eddie the first like influencer that you reached out to, or did you test some other influencer first, or like? And when did you start doing that? By the way, like,
yeah. So this was like after we were at the time we were running like our TikTok ads agency for e-commerce brands, but it wasn't really doing much for us, so we had to pivot, kind of thing. So then Fahad thought of the opportunity. He saw some guy, he was going through some drama online with another influencer, but because he was getting a lot of viewers on live and he was getting a lot of viewers on his videos, meanwhile, he also went through a pretty good transition in terms of his body. So Fahad just thought of the idea of monetizing the audience he has that was there for the drama, but monetizing them by selling them a fat loss ebook. And it was a good idea. And we did make a few £100 or maybe like £1,000, something like that. But the market was there for the drama, like they wasn't there for a fat loss ebook. But because we made a few £100 and it gave us proof of concept, we then tried it again with someone from our gym who we went to our local gym. He had around 80,000 followers on TikTok, and we tried it with him. But his content, so that's when we learned that his content wasn't converting content or valuable content. He had 80K followers, but he was more viral content. He was like those short clips because he had the nice aesthetic body. He was just going viral for that. He wasn't really pushing out much value.
But from what we learned is that this is an opportunity. We can monetize people's audiences with info products. And then one day we came across Eddie Abbew. He had been posted for like 5 weeks and it was growing, a decent amount. So like, okay, there must be something about him. So eventually we reached out to him, set up a meeting, went down there, closed the deal, strictly percentage, no upfront fee, because, we were still early in the game. And then since January 2023, that's when it all happened, until, January 2024, we just stuck with Eddie Abbew. We let go of our old clients and just scaled them up as much as possible because, if you have a percentage, there's unlimited scalability, assuming there's no cap on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of our story with Until Eddie.
Awesome. And like going through all of these different business opportunities as well, and having this like shiny object syndrome, as you said as well, like is that like that journey, is that something that you guys regret, or are you thankful that you went through that?
Definitely thankful, because the thing is, when you try out all these different side hustles, there's so many different skills that you are forced to learn. So when you're learning organic marketing, when you're learning operations or graphic design or copywriting, all of these different skills, sales, that's a big one as well. They all compound, and obviously you compile them together to, and if you apply them to this new vehicle, you're going to be ahead of others who are starting from scratch. So the experience was worth it. The skills that you learn is worth it, as long as you make use of it. But on top of that, because we went through, years of like not making any significant money, it's like now we appreciate what we're making now. So we don't get all excited and lose our head or just spend, recklessly. There we go. At least we can stay grounded and at least appreciate the opportunity and not let go of it. Because some people, they may feel like, oh, I just hit the jackpot. And then, oh, I'm the guy and all of that kind of stuff. We know how it is to go through the hard graft. So we're not going to waste this opportunity, you could say.
Yeah, and like Sam said that he didn't make $1 his first year in business. And it feels like everybody online now want to make money so quick. You see everybody on YouTube make money quick as well. So that's awesome to hear as well that you guys like, yeah, you're making a lot of money now, but you went through like a long time not making any money.
Yeah, so we went a long time without making much money in other businesses. But even with Eddie, we didn't make money for like 3 months. So from January till March was when we launched his first ebook. Till then, we were literally driving there once a week, spending money on petrol, driving there and just working back and forth with the ebook and on the content side of things. So yeah, it was, like we went 3 months without making money with him.
So, and then to just circle back a little bit, because I'm personally very interested about this, like what was it though that made you guys like really want to go into the entrepreneurial thing? Was it like an experience in your life where somebody, I don't know, did something happen where like, I don't want to go the traditional route, I want to make my own money, or you don't want to work? You mentioned that you didn't want to work for somebody else, but did something happen, or was it just that you started early and got a taste for it and just continued? Or
I think for my case, I've always been entrepreneurial. I've always been like creative, a problem solver, all of this kind of stuff. I've always been interested in making projects and just scaling them up or whatever, all of that kind of stuff. My family have been entrepreneurs, so I'm kind of familiar with the space in general. But yeah, like I never really enjoyed, following orders, that sort of thing. It's more like, not because of arrogance, mainly because I have my own ideas. I have my own like vision that I want to push. Doesn't mean because I hate being told what to do. So it's like, if I'm a creative person who has ambition and wants to do certain projects with my vision, all of that kind of stuff, entrepreneurship is the vehicle for that, for me to do that. So that's for my case.
For me personally, I'd say I just want to be able to have enough money so that money isn't like a stress or money isn't like a problem. Because I'd say growing up, there's always arguments about money here and there and stuff. So me personally, I've always wanted like money where obviously everyone has problems, everyone has stresses, but I don't want money to be that stress. Like I don't want money to be a stress or a problem at all. So that was my motivation personally.
And what drives you guys today? Like why continue? Why make more money?
Because there's not enough.
No, I mean, people will talk about money when it comes to entrepreneurship because that's like kind of the metric that you judge success by. Now, aside from that, even if we have enough money, there's people who have millions who always strive for more because maybe it's not necessarily about the money. Maybe it's about solving problems. Maybe it's about providing value and just winning in certain things. It's like a competition. Like, why do sports people always try to be the best? It's like a sport. People compare entrepreneurship with being an athlete all the time. And I do see the reason behind that. But even let's talk about money. We've got families to feed. We've got a lot of people to provide for. We've got charity to give. We've got, material stuff to enjoy. Like, we're not at a point where we can just sit back, sit on the beach. And even what kind of life is that, to just relax? From the people that we've heard who've done that, who've made enough money to sit on a beach, they say it's depressing. That's not a kind of good way to live.
Awesome. Yeah. So do you guys get like the biggest kick in your entrepreneurial journey now when you just like make another 5-10K, or is it like something else that like, what is that spark or that like kick that you're kind of chasing, I guess? Is it just the money, or is it like figuring stuff out or growing? Or
I'd say it's more got to do with growing from now. Like now, I say early days, it was more like, oh shit, like we made this much, blah, blah. But now it's more like about growing. Because even when like payments come through, if I'm being really, there's just numbers on the screen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really like hit like different as much, unless like I'm buying some stuff here and there. But even like, I guess now it's just in terms of the business, it's just about the growth and like how, like if we've done X amount this month, we want to do X amount this month, and we want to do more than that this month. It's all about progression as well.
Yeah, definitely. We want to hit certain milestones. We want to be able to not only make a lot of money, but systemize it in a way that we're not, rich slaves, you can say. We want to be making a vehicle, a well-oiled machine that produces dividends, cash flow in a lean way, that we don't have to physically be here grinding all day, that sort of stuff. We want to hit specific milestones. Like you said, it is numbers on a screen right now where we're kind of desensitized, which is a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing where beliefs have been broken. So certain limiting beliefs is like how much money is available and how much we're capable of making. But at the same time, if everything goes pop down and then we're not even willing to work for $2,000 a month because of how much we're used to, I don't know how that's going to affect us mentally. Because we have heard horror stories where there's been people who've made tons of money, like a good amount of money, but once that hit the fan and they try to make money again, they cannot get themselves to work because they're so used to making that amount of money. And I don't ever want to experience that. So at the same time, what motivates us is that we never want to fall off. We've got this opportunity. We've been through the hard and we know how it is to be broke and all of that kind of stuff. And we don't want to go back there. So while we have this opportunity, let's make the most out of it.
It's insane. Like you guys are like 21 and 22, you said, right? And you're already on this path of like, you've gone through a lot of things to find this thing that you're currently doing that is working really well. And like, imagine giving that another 10 years, like you're setting yourselves up for like a really good future. But like, my next question is like, do you guys think that it's important to work on something that you're actually passionate about? And if so, do you guys feel like you've found something right now that you're actually passionate about working on?
I used to think like that, but then I even heard this one guy say, he says, once you start making money from something, you like just become passionate about it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
I think,
yeah, I don't not enjoy what I do. Like I'm actually really grateful for what I do. So you could say I'm working like on my passion.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say, oh, find your passion and monetize and all of that kind of stuff. But once you start monetizing your passion, it becomes work. So you don't really enjoy it. It's more about, well, what I've heard is that you become passionate about something that you're good at. So if you're good at something, even if it's work or sales or something, you become passionate about it because you're good at it. You enjoy it because you're winning. You're always progressing, or you're closing deals, or this campaign has worked, or you've signed, like all of these different wins. Become passionate about winning, and no matter, even if you're flipping cement, you'll start to become passionate about it if you're successful at it. So it's not really about, oh, what's my hobby and let me monetize my hobby. It's more about become successful and then you start enjoying that because you're winning. That's how I see.
Yeah, it becomes fun when it works, right? And exactly. When you can scale it as well. When the model is actually, you can do more of it in that model.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even how Mankz said, like, we don't hate our work. Like, to be honest, we are doing high impact stuff. Imagine if we're working with coaches who are helping changing people's lives. Like, that's very fulfilling to even be a part of that and scale that up. But also, it's like, these creators are cool people. Like, the fact that there's a reason why millions of people follow them, because they are cool people. They have substance. They're interesting. we've been opened up to, a very cool network, people that we've looked up to, that we're sitting down and having conversations with,
playing football with,
like all of these different things. It's very fun at the end of the day. Like, yes, the work is difficult and hard, but we've built the foundation over the years of entrepreneurship so that it obviously is manageable, but we're also in a good vehicle that's scalable and be able to have fun with it. For example, we went to Dubai, and we had a holiday. But the real reason why we went is because for a client, right, to close a prospect. But it was like an excuse to go to Dubai. Do you get what I'm saying? So we used the business as an excuse to have a holiday. So we had fun and was productive at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's a good lifestyle at the end of the day. We have to be grateful.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't know if you guys agree with this, but like work becomes like the hobby. Like it's fun to work. And then if you can like travel and do that as well, that's like a huge win.
It's like people talk about work-life balance, and like if I'm working this time, then I can't work this time. I have to be separate. But for us, it's not really like that. It's like we're just 24s relaxing and working, and working and relaxing. Maybe there's a bit like too much work here and less work here, but overall, it all balances out.
It's 24s, but people have this misconception that, if you're working 24/7, you're killing yourself. Why are you chasing money so hard? But it's like, yes, we're working 24/7, but we're enjoying it. Like this is fun and work.
Like for example, this is work for us now, but I'm enjoying like
the conversation.
So
Traveling as an entrepreneur is just like you travel to a place to work with a nicer view. Like you kind of look over the ocean. That's kind of how I see it. You still got to sit there with your computer and just like network and talk with people. Yeah,
exactly.
Awesome. But like, how long? Like from when you guys started to like when you could actually make a full-time income, kind of how long did that take for you guys?
If we're starting as in our entrepreneurial journey or starting this business model?
I would say from like when you were like, when you started your journey, like how long did it take and kind of what was that like?
For me, I mean, when I was like 15 reselling, I wasn't making much. I mean, it depends on what your living expenses are. I made a couple like maybe £100 a week or something like that. Like that was enough for me to enjoy my life. But let's say when I had an Amazon FBA brand, that was in a couple of years. Like it does take a couple of years. Everything takes longer than expected. So you may have your 6-month plan. Okay, this month I'm going to make that much revenue. I'm going to have to do this much outreach, whatever. It's going to take longer than expected. But like the saying is, people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. But it doesn't have to take 10 years to make, a significant life change. So for us, I'd say it was maybe a couple of years.
Yeah, and I'd also say like with entrepreneurship, it's not ever steady, like it's always up and down. Sometimes, for example, when we had the agency, we landed a client. Yes, that month we were good. Then the next month we were good. And then the month after that we were bad. So then it's like we're up and then we're down again. And then we met this creator. We made a few £100 there. It's always up and down. So that's why with entrepreneurship, it's always about growth. When you have this good month, it's like the next month you want to be growing. You don't want to fall off. You don't want to go back to the place when you've gone down again. So yeah. But now it's like after a while, once you've made a good amount of money, as long as you don't increase your lifestyle as well, then you've got savings. Then it's like, even if you do fall, it's like, it's okay, because you've got savings and you didn't increase your lifestyle immediately. So yeah.
And that played a huge part. The fact that we had to go through, years of paying ourselves about £500 a month, like to live on. It's like now that we're making a decent amount, we haven't lifestyle inflated that much, to be honest, at all. So it's like we have a ton of savings, you can say, that we're investing now. And we don't feel a way like, I'm itching to buy this or that, because we understand how it is to live on a certain, level, and we're used to it, to be honest. So yes, it's nicer to slowly inflate and enjoy our lives. We're living a lot more comfortable now. But like we do have a ton of savings that we can invest, that if we did have that quick success, maybe we would have been more reckless with it. Like
for us now, like we even talk about this, for us, like ordering Uber Eats is like crazy. Like we can order, we want to order like,
like,
before we would like eat from home and stuff, but now it's like if you want to order food, we can.
You just buy it.
Yeah. So
that's the type of lifestyle inflation that we've done.
Yeah. And like investing becomes a game of itself, right? That's how I saw it, where just making money and stacking in the bank, it's like, okay, like I didn't really see the fun in that to a certain point. It was fun in the beginning, but then investing, that kind of becomes a game in itself where you can like put your money to work type of thing. And it's very cool to hear that you guys are like already doing that, because you have
there's some different like things, assets that we're investing in. For example, like crypto is obviously a common one that we're doing personally. And then even with our business, like through network, we have come across some investment opportunities. So we know someone who's doing developments that hopefully we're going to get into, watch flipping, but like we have our money in. Like even the other day, like Mankz said, how numbers on a screen. If you told us last year that we would transfer, where is it?
Oh yeah,
like around 56K in just for one day, for quickly, just let's do it, boom. Because obviously we trust that guy. We're not stupid, whatever. Like we've done business before. In a day, just to get the return next week, like being able to play with this amount of money, like other people are holding like probably 100K of our money right now, and we're getting dividends from that. Which is like, it's nice because what we'd be working and slaving away for last year, we're getting paid that in dividends now. And that just covers our lifestyle too.
And it's like, it makes sense to increase your lifestyle from those investments than your actual income, if you get what I'm trying to say. Well, like from what we've learned anyway. So we're just basically going off what we've learned throughout the years. And now it's like, we're just putting it into practice.
Yeah. That's the trap, right? And I know for a fact that is a trap, not only for people who are working like high-paying jobs, but also for entrepreneurs, where you start to make more money and then you just increase the expense of your lifestyle because you don't know what to do with the money, then just buy stuff. So there's a lot of entrepreneurs who get stuck in that. I know that for a fact. Some people are pretty big on the internet where they have a big audience, they're making a lot of money, but then they turn 50, 55, 60, and they have nothing left to show for it. And they still have to hustle for money because they haven't invested a dollar. So yeah. Awesome. If we talk about growth operating, then I know that a lot of people are like interested in growth operating. Like, why did you guys decide to go into growth operating versus creating your own audience and your own Skool community?
I'd say we kind of like fell into it before growth operating even had its name. Like we kind of naturally was doing it through monetizing these creators' audiences with ebooks and whatnot and info products. And the reason why we stuck to it is because it's leveraged. Like imagine partnering up with someone who's spent the years becoming a credible person and then being able to dedicate their time to becoming content creators, a good content creator, posting all day, every day, all of that kind of stuff. Rather than having to do that ourselves, why not just shortcut it and partner up with them? And then with the funnel that we build and the systems that we build, you just replicate it with others. And that's what we're doing right now. So we're replicating what success we have had with other creators so that we have a pool of like, you know, a decent amount of creators that we're taking a percentage from in exchange for building their funnels, obviously monetizing their audiences. So like imagine creating our own audience. It's kind of like not leveraged in a way.
It's more like you're just focused on one thing. So we're focused on right now funnel building and just being perfect at that. If we were trying to be content creators and then do this and then do that, then it's just a whole load of mess where it's like one expert partnering up with another expert. Then both experts come together and make something amazing.
And so you found this one creator, Eddie, and you got a really strong proof of concept there, like a great case study. You can showcase that to other creators as well, obviously. Is that your guys' growth strategy now to, instead of trying to grow one, you want to apply the same concepts to multiple different influencers as well? Is that your guys' strategy to grow, or is it like, what's the strategy to scale? Yeah, I guess is my question.
Initially with Eddie, the strategy was to literally scale horizontally with him. Vertically with him, sorry. So like at the time when we started making, let's say 10K a month with Eddie, we could have gone and worked with other creators if we wanted to and scaled horizontally. But instead we chose to just, because we've got a percentage with him, it makes sense to just scale him up as much as we can.
Because there is unlimited scale. Like instead of, you know, partnering up with more people, the more leveraged way to do it is just take him even further. So like it's more compounding. The more followers he gets, the easier it is to get more followers. And obviously the fulfillment becomes easier rather than creating new funnels, new products. Like, why don't we just build upon the one that we have right now? We're still scaling him up vertically, but now we're at a stage where we've kind of refined our system so we can start onboarding like employees and stuff. So once we have employees and team members in place, now we have the capacity to take on more creators. Obviously not a ton more, only handpicking a few ones that qualify for our requirements. And then we can replicate that from the team to fulfill the same thing. So we're still scaling our current clients as much as possible, but onboarding slowly some other ones that we can potentially do the same thing for as Eddie with them.
Nice. Yeah, and that's kind of what Sam does as well, right? Like he didn't want to do the content, so he just partnered with somebody who was really good at it. And as you said, it's just leverage. But I'm personally very interested to know, like, when you guys look for an influencer and you start working with somebody, like, what is like the top, let's say, the top thing or the top 3 things where you're like, if we implement this for this influencer, this person, that's where we're going to have the biggest ROI. Like, what is like the things that you're looking for? If you're willing to share, I would personally love to hear it. What you guys do to kind of make money.
You're asking like what criteria do we have for them to be able to work with us?
Or are you asking for the top 3 things we'd implement?
Yeah, like the top 3 things that you implement that kind of makes the money for them, I guess. I guess it's a holistic thing, but if you have any specific things, that would be interesting. Yeah.
So number 1, I'd say top of the funnel is the converting content. So we've got to make sure that if the creator's not posting converted content yet, that they do that ASAP. So valuable content that actually provides good tips and advice
and education
to their followers.
Because at the end of the day, we want to sell education. So if you're posting viral videos or you look pretty and all of that kind of stuff and you go viral for the wrong reasons, that's not exactly aligned to what we're trying to sell to them. So education, obviously, they need to be posting valuable content. They need to be in a decent niche. It doesn't have to be specifically only health, wealth, and relationships, but those are the best 3 niches with the biggest pain points so that we can easily monetize with them. Obviously, they have to have a decent following of like at least 100K, 500K engaged followers. But if you talk about what we would implement, so number 1 is converting content. I'd say second is the whole nurturing process. So having an email sequence, having a lead magnet, having a VSL, all of these things, they play a part when it comes to warming up the audience, building enough trust and authority with them for them to be willing to pay for high ticket coaching. And then you could talk about having different products at different stages. So maybe a low ticket item, maybe a mid ticket course, so community, mid ticket course, or a high ticket mentorship, that sort of things. So you want to take them through the funnel. It's like a value step ladder.
The underrated one is the email. You say like
a lot of people don't think of
really important because that's where you do the majority of the selling. On the front end, you want the creator to be the good guy that's just giving out good tips, valuable tips, etc. But we want to collect the customer's email so we can go heavy on the email because that way, like, there's more focus. They can't get distracted from other creators on Instagram. We're literally in their inbox. We can sell to them,
and you own the audience.
Awesome. Like, all of these 3 things, like, I'm sure we can talk about a whole day. I would love to go into these more. Like, do you guys have systems, for example, for valuable content? That's something that pops into my head. Like, do you guys actually help the creator to like how do you create valuable content? I guess that's a good question for somebody that's listening right now.
I guess understanding that there are like 3 main umbrellas of types of content, which is educational, entertaining, and inspirational. So they need to be more like conscious of what type of content is this and coming up with different content pillars of, cool, I talk about this topic a lot. And let me just extract as many video ideas and stories that I can from these content pillars. So educational could be just how-to videos, steps, like listicle steps, all of that kind of stuff. Entertaining doesn't have to be funny. It can be like a day in the life. It could be just like anything that doesn't necessarily provide educational value, but it builds a relationship with the audience. And inspirational could be talking about your story from your current situation to your desired outcome. And your audience would be able to relate to that because they want to go through the same transformation. So all of these different
testimonials as well. Testimonials are like a really important thing as well.
Testimonials are huge. You want to push them as much as you can because they say like testimonials is the most persuasive piece of marketing. If you were to do any marketing, that would be the most persuasive one. But yeah, converting content, you want to have obviously the structure of a video, a hook, the body, and the call to action. We do have a consultation with our creators. We don't really want to partner with people who aren't already big content creators because that's just that's very difficult to even force someone to become a content creator. But we do give them guidance on like, okay, cool, this strategy is working. We need to make videos on this sort of topics. based on the market research that we've done for your audience and what offer you should sell, you should be doing this sort of messaging. And that's the sort of like strategy, high level strategy that we give in terms of content.
Yeah. Overall, we're big believers in giving out a lot of stuff for free as well. So like Hormozi method, you could say, just give out the stuff for free. Because even at the school games, I remember asking him, what's the difference between paid content and free content? And he said nothing. So like the value that you give in the paid content, just give it out for free. And that way you just get the viewers' trust a lot quicker than especially other people in your industry as well.
Because even as a content creator, you do want to build a cult. And one of the ways of building a loyal following is obviously giving so much free value that people see results from the free value. And out of reciprocity, there'll be a loyal follower. But also some techniques is creating an us versus them. So as you know, with Eddie, what we've done is created a Eddie, like Eat Real Food guys versus the food industry, the medicine, big pharma, all of that kind of stuff. Or you can say, for example, with Andrew Tate, he was him against the Matrix. Like us versus them, that helps you build, you know, common enemy. That helps building a loyal following as well.
Awesome. So you basically want to find creators who already figured out the content piece. You can help them adjust that a little bit, but then the work is more so on the nurturing, like with the email, and also on the back and like helping them with a plan on like what type of products to sell.
Exactly, the funnel side. That's
so building the funnel, yeah.
Build out and consult them on, yeah.
And what does what funnel do you guys see works the best? Is it like a free course, or is it directly to low ticket and then have like high ticket on the back end? That's basically what you talked about, right? Do you have any like tips for that? And
it depends on the creator, their audience, and what kind of niche they're in. For example, like with Eddie, he's more mass market, and it depends on what the creator prefers. So high ticket for, you know, weight loss and all of that kind of stuff, it has proven to work in the past. Like there's many PTs or coaches, but Eddie does not enjoy it. So that's something that we have to stray away from. However, since he has such a huge audience and it reaches so many people, like he can hit mass market, low ticket community. And that's what we have done. Even with the ebooks, it's very low ticket. The next steps, if we can do, is maybe create like a mini video courses that we can sell for maybe $100, $200 a piece. And then that could be an upsell. But usually the standard funnel that we kind of display to prospects is first we have the converting content. Then we have a lead magnet, email newsletter, and welcome series that we promote to a paid community or low ticket item. And then we upsell them through appointment setting and closing, like closes to like a high ticket program or mentorship. And that's like kind of the generic one that we, you know, use as a base before we start altering it for depending on the creator.
Interesting. What do you think is the most powerful, what generates the most amount of money? Is it the front end with the low ticket using Skool, let's say, or the back end high ticket? Or like, do you know what I mean? Like what's, yeah.
It depends.
It depends, because so with someone like Eddie, we did try high ticket for a bit, and yes, we made a good amount of money. And I personally feel like if we stayed on the high ticket thing, we could scale that much higher than his low ticket items. But then with someone like, let's say we partner up with a creator who's in the biz op niche, right? So an example could be a guy who's teaching people how to run an Airbnb business. His offer would mainly be high ticket. He would make a lot of money from his high ticket because that would require more one-on-one or one-to-group mentorship, etc. Whereas someone like Eddie, and also that Airbnb coach doesn't have to have the 100,000 of followers. He can literally have a few thousand followers and still make quite a good amount of money because of the high ticket offer that he has.
Yeah. Whereas
someone like Eddie, you need a huge amount of followers, low ticket, but you can still make a good amount of money, as we've seen with Eddie. So, yeah.
I mean, a lot of the times you do hear, like, I think high ticket does make more money than low ticket, but it's just out of preference to the creator. And to be honest, you do want to ascend them through the funnel anyway. So the end goal when you get them in the low ticket is not just to keep them there. You want to take them to the high ticket eventually. Because if you're charging, let's say $50, $100 a month for the community or whatnot, and then you have a high ticket program, which is at least like, let's say 3K, like how many months do they have to stay for to match that 3K? And like with enough nurturing, you should be able to get enough people for the 3K package anyway. So it's not like one or the other. More time you do both. But a lot of the times people do say high ticket, you make more money.
How do you guys balance the offers though? Like you have a free community. Obviously you want to provide as much value as you can in a free community, like to keep people in there, like with calls and courses and all of that. How do you build an offer to like, is it more time to the creator? Is it like a mastermind setting, or like what do you guys think is best for a high ticket?
I'd say for like a low ticket community, you can get away with, providing some resources and like a video course going over the main topic and the bottleneck of, the pain point, wherever the audience is struggling with. But when it comes to the high ticket programs, we want to do it as if it's a build and release, meaning let's say in the Airbnb niche, right? So we want to map out every single step of the way from someone starting out to having a fully profitable unit, right? So what are all the different steps that they need to take, whether that's mindset and then sourcing and then negotiations, closing a landlord, furnishing, like all the different steps, advertising, managing a team, cleaning, all of that kind of stuff. Building a resource or video tutorial explanation for every single step of the way. So it's kind of plug and play. Like you want to give like profitability calculators. You want to give supplier lists for cleaning supplies. You want to give as much as you can as if they were going to like just plug and play for their own, area or whatnot. Similar how Hormozi did it with Gym Launch, where you kind of license out this plug and play business. It's like franchising, but they own their own franchise. So that way, once you've solved all the problems, then it's like, it's a no-brainer to pay X amount. For example, if you're going to be profiting, 10K profit in a year from your Airbnb unit, I can get away with charging 9K, because from then on, you can start making more from after a year. But that's kind of what we do for our high ticket. We want to solve every single problem there is, and maybe do, one-to-one coaching on top of that, versus when the low ticket one, it would just be group coaching to like one-to-many.
So there'll be more like implementation with the creator and more time with the creator. You could say more like personalization as well. So it's more personalized advice compared to just generic advice you're just given across the board.
Awesome. Value bombs. I love this personally, to listen to this. Awesome. Now, okay, if we then go back to you guys' story a bit, like, have you guys had any part in your story when it felt like everything was just, it was done? It was like you came to a place where it's like something happened. You were like, I can either give up now and get a job, but you decided to continue anyway. Was there any point like that in your journey?
That was when we were running our TikTok ads agency, and we had paid for coaching. It was a big amount that we couldn't even afford, but we ended up finding the money for it. We were doing it for months, just doing the outreach, like 100 looms a day, all of that kind of stuff, months on end. We landed one client for 1K a month, 1.5K a month, 2 months. They got rebuild, so that's another month subscribed with us. So yeah, that was where we were in the gut. We were spending a lot of money. We weren't making any money. We were trying really hard. We paid a lot of money for this mentorship. But then once we pivoted, we had some hope, made a bit of money, and then it was happy sailing from there. But just before we started pivoting, that could have been a place where we could have easily given up. But what I do see and look back on, which was, it was good, is the fact that we spent so much on the mentorship. It kind of made us committed to making this work. So at least we had skin in the game that, no, I'm not going to let this go. But for other people, that might have been a place where they would have given up.
Like there are points where we've got jobs or we've done deliveries on the like car deliveries or like delivering this on the side just because we need money. Like we literally need money. But it's like, it's never been a thing where this is going to be long term or anything. It's always a thing where it's always going to go back to entrepreneurship anyway. Because like at the end of the day, we were 19, 20 and we have a whole life.
Yeah.
So it's like
I've never thought of, I'm just gonna get a job or anything. Yeah. Like I've always gonna make this work. Like, I knew something's gonna pop. I'm gonna make something work. So I guess we were just doing the Amazon deliveries and food deliveries for as to stay afloat and stuff. But it was never thinking, oh yeah, I might have to fall back on this, or I might have to get a degree to get a job. Like that's never in the plan.
What do you guys think is like the most powerful thing you can do when you're in that place to like overcome it?
What, to stay motivated,
or to like if you're in the gutter and like I have no idea what to do right now, everything feels hopeless, like what do you do to kind of get out of it? You mentioned like mentorship. It sounds like that's something you guys lean towards quite a bit. Would you say that's it, or is there anything else? Or yeah,
for me personally, I've more learned through experience, and that's been the best teacher for me. But it's always progressing, always learning. Okay, number one, the belief change has the limited belief has to change. More often than not, you're not doing enough output. You're not doing enough input. So where you feel like, oh, you're overwhelmed, you're drowned and everything, you just haven't worked hard enough, and you haven't been exposed to real hard work to actually understand how much that is required to be successful. Number two is, if you feel hopeless, you need guidance. You need to research. You need to be willing to learn. Go on YouTube for free. Go on TikTok and learn from your favorite influencers. Maybe save up to invest in their coaching. That's kind of what we did. Like, we were doing the food deliveries not just to live on and spunk at the end of the week, but actually utilize that for investing into our businesses, investing into our knowledge and that sort of stuff. So one of the main investments we do currently with our money is mentorships and like maybe networking events. We're going to some place next month. Like, these are the sort of things that you have to put yourself into. Otherwise, you're going to waste yourself trying to like learn, experience your way through success when you can just shortcut that and buy someone else's experience.
Plus, there's a lot of people in your similar situation right now, probably. So just go to these places, go to like a co-working space, find these discords, find these group chats. I'm sure there's a lot of other people that are in your space that are currently struggling just like you. And you can probably work together or just hold each other accountable and stuff. And then as long as you have a good network, like a good amount of like the right people around you and stuff, then it's like really hard to stay like demotivated and stuff.
Yeah.
And plus, make sure what you're watching on social media is not just anything. You're just like consuming the right things. You're consuming the right things from right people, etc. And
yeah, like even in these group chats, there's going to be people who are like 1-2 steps ahead of you, and they will help you. And to be honest, that's the people you can get the best advice from. Not people who, I mean, life advice, get people who are 10 years ahead of you. But like for when it comes to business practical advice, sometimes the people 10 years ahead, their advice doesn't apply to you. It's those who are like 1-2 steps ahead who can help you. And those are the ones that you can get access to through these group chats or friends and YouTube and all of that kind of stuff.
That's interesting, right? For people listening, I think a lot of people think that, like guys like yourselves who have made a lot of money and you're doing a lot of money, they think that you guys are all set. But you just said it, like you guys are still investing a lot of your money to like learn from other people. So that really never ends, right? Like,
no.
The more money you make, the more money you spend on knowledge. It's
for example, like we hear entrepreneurs that are way more like credible and further of us, that they spend 10K, 20K on mentorships or seminars and stuff like that. So I guess even when we're at that stage, it will never end.
Because there's different levels to the game. Like once you reach a new level, there's always levels ahead. And as a person that's constantly developing, you kind of want to learn what's the next secret. Not secret, obviously, but what's the next things that I can do? What are the bigger games that I can play? Learn from someone who's done it before, shortcut your way to success, and then that's it. You always want to be progressing anyway.
Have you guys ever like regretted investing in yourself in mentorship?
No, obviously not.
No.
Even if, like, for example, in the mentorship that we bought was for TikTok ads, you could say, specifically. But even then, it's like now there's still stuff that we go back to on the Notion because it's applied to this growth operating thing as well right now. But just like investing in that, like, it's just made us the people that we are right now. And plus, it's like if we invested in something like that back then, like the stuff that we learned, not like the actual practical stuff, but the hard work we learned as well, it's all worth it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
life is obviously what you take from it. So like, if you feel like you've been scammed, more time is because you haven't actually accessed the resources that was put in front of you and you haven't utilized them well. So I was speaking to a friend yesterday about mentorship in general. It's like 50% of the value is from what they actually provide you. Or if anything, 30%, the 70% is what you take from it and how you utilize it. When you pay for mentorship, you're not buying a successful business. You're buying the skills, kind of, not skills, but you're buying the education to learn the skills. And then you apply it to make a successful business. So it's ultimately up to you to actually apply the skills. And like you said, like, do we regret? No, because the skills that we learned from these different mentorships, if we apply them well to this vehicle, then it will be made use. Otherwise, if you're looking at it the wrong way, like, oh, let me buy his mentorship so I can end up having a success. I'm just buying a profitable business. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. You're buying the skills or the ability to learn the skills, and then you apply it yourself.
Yeah. You buy the roadmap in a way, right? You kind of get the blueprint, but then it's up to you to like figure stuff out and then implement it, right? Yeah. Nice. Awesome. Okay, a funny question. What has been like the biggest change in your guys' life after you guys have been like starting to make money? Like, is there, like you mentioned Uber Eats, for example, but like how have you improved the quality of your life to like now that you have some money?
I'd say first thing was like I've stayed down, yeah. I've had my Dinger little rattly car that I had for like 4 years since 18. While my friends were upgrading the cars and whatnot, I stuck with it. I said, no, listen, I got ACB in this little Dinger that rattles and makes noises that I just turn the volume up to drown out. So that's one thing. We upgraded our cars a little bit. Yeah. We both done it. So he obviously same situation, rattly cars, whatever. That just, that was more of like a fun purchase. It was still good value for money, the ones that we bought. So we didn't get bumped. Number two, obviously the ability to just go out and buy food. Like the other day we went to a restaurant here. We didn't even think about like the price. Obviously we knew it's not an expensive restaurant, but it's the fact that I'm hungry. Let me just buy this meal.
And we can pay for others as well. That's a big thing.
Oh yeah. Like whenever we go to dinner, we use this little tactic. Yeah. If you guys want this little secret tactic, once you've ordered, you go to the toilet before the dinner's even over. You go to the toilet, you pay for the meal. So then the other people, they don't even get a chance to fight over it. But yeah, that's nice.
Gym,
we upgraded to a nicer gym, which has a spa, which is good to relax.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, other than that, really, it's just more comfortable. Like we're able to, for example, we needed a wire. Yeah. So
instead of scavenging around for, have you got a charger? Can I have a charger? Just order like 2-3 chargers.
Done. Like you don't even think about it. £5 here, £10 there. Amazon is just like you just buy things. Like not even expensive things like this. Like we need this adapter for the Mac. It's like, £20 cool, let's just buy it quick. Done. Like you don't have to think about it.
And if my sister needs anything, take it, buy it.
That's it, exactly. Like even living on £500 a month, you have to think about that sort of stuff. But now it's like, fuck it.
So that's the big difference, I'd say. Like we didn't go heavy. I'd say we went heavy on investing, you could say, in the watches and stuff here and there. But apart from that, we didn't personally, we didn't do much. It's just the little things that make the big difference.
Exactly. I think when it comes to spending money, for everyone who comes into money or whatever, it's about, think about what are high ROI things that you can spend your money on. High ROI doesn't mean financially. For example, like buying your sister's something like that, £50, £100, £500 there will make such a big difference to like your relationship with her. Like it's fulfilling and that sort of stuff. Maybe being able to buy these sort of things for £5, £10, like it's useful because you're going to utilize it for your business and whatnot.
And it's like now you don't have to stress. Like it's just the little things. Like I have to get my charger from my house and put it in my car because I'm sharing the same charger. Now you don't have to do that. Now there's less headspace.
Yeah. And like
gym.
So spend money on things. For example, like because obviously we follow Eddie Abbew and stuff, we eat healthy, nutritious food, which does come at a cost when I'm eating steak like every other day and stuff. But it's the fact that like I don't mind that because obviously we've got the money for that, but that's an expense that is worth it. It's going to be a high ROI. Like I'm going to feel better, look better, all of that kind of stuff from it. So spend money on things that will actually bring you fulfillment. So while we didn't drip out and designer clothing or whatnot, we spend money on going holidays. Like
holidays is a big one.
We take trips. Like we enjoyed ourselves in Dubai, in Las Vegas, and Milan, and Umrah, like all of these different places. And like we make use out of it as well. So make use of those trips, record content there, network with people there. Like if anything, that's going to make us more money in the future, even though it's an enjoyment thing. So like a way to never go broke is spend money, enjoy money on things that will bring you an ROI anyway. So you're winning on both ends.
Yes. And then keep your business and your personal life very lean, right? You don't need to live super flashy. You don't need to buy the expensive cars or the expensive clothes. You just live super frugally and then you just have the money that you can like spend on stuff that actually matters, like experiences and food and all of that, right?
Exactly.
Because then you have a stress-free life as well, right? Like you don't.
I think it just stems down to like insecurity. Like some people, because of they're insecure in themselves, whatever, they have to show off whatever flashy cars or or clothes and all of that kind of stuff.
Unless you genuinely enjoy that thing.
Yeah.
Obviously.
If you genuinely enjoy something, that's a different story. But if you are secure and confident in yourself, you don't have to be all flashy and prove yourself. So like that's a cheat code as well if you're just confident.
Yeah.
You end up
I wish I
spending-
had your guys' brain when I was 21. It's like, yeah, it's insane actually. Yeah, really cool. Have you guys had any like specific mentor or somebody who just like showed you guys the way? And if so, like, is there any? You don't have to mention any specific names, but have you had any like specific guy or girl in your life who's like mentored you and showed you a lot?
I'd say on social media, you just been following. So personally, I'd say the first person I followed was Gary Vee. So I like followed him first. And then you followed Ty Lopez.
Yeah, back in school days, I didn't have any social media or anything, so I would just be on YouTube, how to make money online and blah blah blah. And like I'd be watching Ty Lopez. He's kind of like a pioneer in this whole online guru space in general. So he's like my first mentor. You could say just more mindset stuff, get myself mentally prepared for this entrepreneurship journey and general life advice, all of that kind of stuff. So that's helped. But other than that, when it comes to actual business practical stuff, it's
Alex Hormozi, you could say.
Alex Hormozi's been a good one. And it's more like just experience and just getting out there, speaking to people and just learning from YouTube and just implementing stuff.
That's interesting. Like a lot of that can be for free as well online.
Yeah. I personally think a lot of the information is out there for free.
Yeah. But not to knock any mentorships because some people learn differently. I'm different to the majority of the people, and some people need like guidance and hand-holding and all of that kind of stuff and a blueprint. So that will work better for them. So what we're saying doesn't mean it applies for everyone or it is the best thing for everyone. Some people, mentorship has like skyrocketed their growth because they've learned everything that this guru has learned over 10 years of experience or whatnot, and they've condensed it into 8 weeks, 12 weeks, and now their business has skyrocketed. So not to knock any mentorships in general anyway. But yeah, that's kind of how we think.
And as we talked about before as well, you guys have invested a lot of money into like learning from other people as well. So you learn from free stuff, but also by investing into, I guess, courses or mentorships or whatever it might be, events, etc. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Mindset then, is that big, do you guys think? And if so, like, how do you guys...
I've always said...
Do you have a specific routine?
The biggest, number one factor of success is discipline. If you have discipline, like, and you apply it well, like, then you're going to be successful. Because discipline could mean sitting down and actually watching the video course and implementing that stuff for the thing. Discipline could mean not having shiny object syndrome and actually putting in the reps and the input required to be successful. Discipline means like you're not getting distracted by outside stuff or different, obviously distractions and things that are not good for you, and staying focused, eating the right stuff, working out, working on your business, learning from the right stuff, reading books and whatnot. Discipline is ultimately, I think, it's the foundation to success. If you're not disciplined, then you're not ever going to be successful. So that's a big part of mindset for me.
And so if somebody's watching this right now, they're just starting out, they're listening to you guys' story and what you guys have been able to achieve. Like, what would you tell a person who's just starting out if they are inspired by what you guys are doing as well?
So if they're starting out and they've got a business model that they're currently working on, I'd say the number one thing I'd say is don't get distracted. The grass is greener. So the grass is green where you water it, right? It's not green elsewhere. So like personally, obviously there's probably certain business models that are better than other business models. But overall, I personally think that if we were to stick to one specific business model, whether that be Amazon FBA or trading or drop shipping or growth operating, if you as long as you stick to it, you'll be fine. And you actually stay disciplined and you make sure that you're not getting distracted by any other, because business models, they come and go, right? But personally, I'd say, and there's nothing wrong with any specific business model. A lot of people will call this one a scam, but more time it's just because you haven't put in the work.
I'd say for a beginner, definitely, I mean, if you're a beginner, just level up skills. Forget about making money today. Just level up skills, stack as many skills as possible. Stop trying to find a little method that you can replicate and just like pump money into it like a pump and dump. Just like focus on building like sales. That's, I'd say, number one or number two skills to learn. Copywriting, which is obviously written sales, you can say. operations, how to communicate with other people, like all of these like different skills that you can learn. Well, I remember Jason Capital calling it like high value skills or something like that, high income skills. It was sales, copywriting, and communication, something like that. If you develop those skills, like you're going to be valuable in any business. Like these are core fundamental problems that all businesses face. So if you become an expert in that, you can add value to any business and obviously in turn collect cash from that.
And especially when you're young, when you hear this type of stuff, you're like, oh yeah, sales, blah, blah, blah. But now that we're in it, it's like genuinely learning sales, learning copywriting, even though it sounds like such a generic and base thing to do, that is what a lot of people at the top, even, they always just go down to the basics and they just master that.
Yeah. Like Hormozi says, I think the experts, they basically never not do the fundamentals. So they always just do the fundamentals. That's what he says. So there's no secret strategy that these super successful people do. They just do the fundamentals really well.
But they just get sick at it. So that's why they're just where they are.
No. They have an offer that people want to buy. That's basically what it is, right? It's just having a good offer. Yeah. Nice. I love it. Like sticking to it. 100% agree with that. Like, I feel like if you just stick to it, you will win by default because everybody else is quitting. So if you just stick to it, you're going to win because you're still continuing. And then learning sales and copywriting, like communication and like the fundamentals. Super solid advice. I love it. Nice. To run this interview up though, then, where can, like, if people want to like learn more about you guys, can they learn more from you guys, or are you like in the shadows working as growth operators? Or if people want to like follow you or do something, where can they find you guys? Or do you have anything that you can tell?
Yes, I'm personally started up on YouTube just to like document and stuff. So I'm on YouTube, Mankz.
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram as well, with there.
So that's Mankz _ and my one's Fahad Mia _ You can follow us on Instagram. Mankz is starting to post more content now, and yeah, so literally we're just documenting our journey, giving up free advice for our younger selves on YouTube as well. He's doing that, so that's where you can really find us, to be honest.
Love it. I will subscribe immediately. I want to follow you guys' journey. Good stuff, guys. Thank you so much for this talk. I enjoyed it a lot. And hope to talk more soon.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.